let's just get the crazy thing out of the way first, which is that I found Magnolia Pearl at a Plato's Closet during their 90% off clearance sale. Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I am a part-time reseller and sell on a bunch of different platforms like Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and Depop. And one of the places that I will go to find inventory for those different reselling platforms is Plato's Closet. Now, I will admit I trash talk my local Plato's Closet a lot because it's not the greatest. Like, I've gone to somewhere, I'm like, oh my gosh, the stuff here is amazing. And I get it. Like, I live in my town. I look around. Like, I understand that there's just not a lot of people spending a lot of money on like really nice high-end clothing here, and therefore not a lot of like nice pieces are being sold at places like Plato's Closet and whatnot. But I did visit my local Plato's Closet when they were doing their 90% off sale. I remember getting the email about the 70% off sale, and I decided to skip it because I just thought that prices would be a little too high. But at 90%, I did go to the 70% off sale, and I think I maybe got a couple things, but I remember being like, I just need to come back when it's 90% off and I'll be able to get some better stuff. And I did definitely get more stuff, and then like I said, I found Magnolia Pearl too, so I'm going to show you that. But we'll just go through everything. I'll give you an idea of how much I spent on the item and how much I think I can list the item for. We'll see. So we're going to start with some jeans, and it's been like 5 days, so I don't super remember everything that's in here, but we'll just go through and I'll show you everything. So if I can get Levi's jeans for men for really cheap, I will always get them. These are the 560s. They're a 38 by 32. These they had priced at $16, so I paid $1.60 for them, and it looks like they are just kind of a straight jean. Some of the they're like a little bit more wide leg, but straight, wide leg, loose fit, however you want to put it. They're in good shape. They definitely are a little bit older, and you can tell by the wear on the tag on the back, but I think that I should be able to sell these for at least maybe $25, and I would be happy with that. And anything with like a little bit looser of a fit, I think that's going to do pretty well because not a lot of people are wearing, like skinny fit jeans or anything like that. I think one of the best ways for me to figure out what kind of stuff is trending is just to look at my students, because I teach high school choir, and I have this one kid in particular in my a cappella group. He just dresses so cool. Like, he's just a cool looking kid, and everything is so wide leg, and again, it's just so very cool. But this next pair of jeans that I got, see, I don't even remember that I got these. These are Pilcrow, which is an Anthropology brand, and these are in a size 28. They were asking $35, so I paid $3.50 for these. I got these because they're kind of that like sailor jean. They have the pockets in the front that are just like little slits, and you can't really put anything in them. And actually, are these fake pockets? No, I think these have like stitching. You can unstitch it and you can actually put your hand in there if you want, which kind of shows maybe they haven't been worn very much. And then they are a little bit more of a flare. So I thought that was really cute. They are high-waisted. And even though Pilcrow is not a brand that I pick up very much anymore, just because I feel like it doesn't sell for quite as much as it used to, I liked the style of these, which is why I was willing to pick them up for $3.50. But definitely, not any more than that would I pay. Like, at 70% off, they were not worth it. But at $3.50, I think I can do that. This is a pair of Wrangler cargo khakis. Would you call these khakis because of the color? I think so. They wanted $12 for these, so I paid $1.20. And the craziest thing is that they're brand new with tags. Now, I know Wrangler isn't like the most exciting brand, and these probably were sold at like a JCPenney or something like that. I think they're a little bit older, and you can see the price on these was $20, which is kind of insane, and I'll probably just rip that part off because that is really cheap. But they're cargo, full seat and thigh, straight leg opening. Yeah, I will probably list them for like 25 or 30. I'll probably list them for a little bit more than what they actually were priced at the retail store. They're a size 38 by 30. I just thought that was interesting that they were priced so cheap. I know Wranglers are not like the best denim brand, but I thought they were a little better than that. So I got like pants, some tops, some dresses, some sweaters, some shoes. We'll do a couple more bottoms, and then I'll show you some shoes. Maybe we can do that. This is Free People, and these are in a size extra small. These are just like a comfy little pair of pull-on lounge pants in like this really fun chevron print, multicolor. They were asking $12, so I got these for $1.20. I could have looked up comps. It would have been really easy to use Google Lens to take a picture of these because they're so unique. Like their colorway, the style, the print, they're very unique. I'm pretty sure that Google Lens would have found them right away, and I would have had the style name, and I would have been able to look up comps and all that stuff. But also I was like, I mean, they'll sell. Like, they'll sell and give me some money, so I'm fine with paying however much, you know, the $1.20. Hopefully I can sell those for like 20 to 25. So the shoes, I'm not going to lie, they were so annoying to go through because they were just thrown in these two huge bins at the front of the store, and there were bags and hats and other accessories mixed in with them for the clearance sale. And there were a few shoes that I would have bought had they had the other pair, and maybe there was the other, you know, shoe to make the complete pair in the tote somewhere, but there was just so much stuff in there. I had already put like 50% of a tote on the ground next to my feet, but I just felt bad like upending the whole tote. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be that customer. It was so busy, and they were also getting a part of the store ready with Halloween stuff. So I didn't want to be like rude and, you know, just make a mess. So I didn't get all of the shoes that I would have liked, but I found some fairly decent ones. These, they wanted, how much did they want for these? 25 or 30. Okay, these they wanted $25 for, so I got them for $2.50. They are, okay, look at them and just think in your brain what brand you think they are. You probably said something like Crocs, right? These are Vans. I've just never seen Vans slip-on shoes like this, that like, yeah, Crocs style shoe. This is what the bottom looks like. I just thought they were so interesting. I did not look up comps. I don't know how much these can go for, but color me intrigued. You know, it is boot season, and so I did pick up a few pairs of just these kind of like Ugg boots. These are by Emu Australia, which is like, they basically make the same thing as an Ugg boot. They have like the sheepskin lining, they have the really soft leather exterior, and these are in really good shape. They're in a nice black color. They're just kind of ankle height. They were asking $35, so I got these for $3.50. They're a size 9. I'm hoping to sell them for like $40-ish, maybe $50 if I'm lucky. And this is the season for this for sure, even though it's still so hot where I live. Like, I don't understand where fall is. I'm filming on October 1st. Where is my fall? These are Steve Madden, and I have slowed down a lot on picking up Steve Madden just because I feel like people don't care about this brand very much anymore. But leather print is still pretty in. These are just a nice slip-on shoe. I don't know how much these were because look at how worn the tag is. I do have a receipt, but I don't think it'll, yeah, it doesn't show me like, you know, this is a Steve Madden shoe, so it would all say shoe somewhere. I think these are the synthetic shoe, so I think I got these for $1.40, which is pretty good. I'll take it, $1.40. If I could sell these for $25 to $30, I'd be happy with that. And then I have, okay. I remember looking at these during the 70% off sale, and I was like, I want to get them. And I decided against it because I did look up comps, and they were kind of whatever. But I just wanted to try selling them. I have $3 into these. These are Heelys. The shoes with like the wheel on the bottom, they're in really great shape. And furthermore, similar to the Vans, they're just so interesting in that they're like kind of Crocs inspired, where it's like a rubber exterior. They have the holes. They have this open back. You just kind of slip your foot in, although there is also lacing on top. I think when I looked up comps, they were selling for like $19.99, like definitely under $25, but it was more I just wanted to try selling them because I think they used to be a really, really good pickup. I guess maybe they're not as much anymore, but I just wanted to try them out. I always wanted a pair As a kid, let me know if Heelys was something that you got to experience as a child, or I don't know, as an adult. Maybe that's the kind of thing you're into right now. But I never had the opportunity, so maybe I'm just living out my childhood dreams through selling these shoes. I don't know. So even if I sold them for like $25, I'd be really happy with that. So I got a couple sweatery type things. The first one was Abercrombie and Fitch, size small. I can't tell if this is an older piece. I can't tell if this is something from like the 2000s, which is really popular. This style kind of looks like it, but I just don't know. So it is this long sweater, and this is why I think it's maybe from like the 2000s, like it's a Y2K piece, because this length sweater has not been popular since, I feel like at first I was like, is this a sweater dress? But I think it's just one of those longer sweaters that people used to wear. So it's this interesting knit piece, and it's got some cable knit on the front, as you can see. You're meant to wear like a little cami underneath it, and it's mainly acrylic, if I'm not mistaken. There's acrylic, nylon, and wool, and alpaca. Okay, so some good ingredients. There is this small flaw on the bottom, if you can see, just kind of a pulled thread there, a pulled section. So I don't know, if it's not actually Y2K, it is definitely Y2K style, and this they were selling for $12, so I got it for $1.20. My hope is to sell it for at least, I don't know, $25, $30, which I think I can do given the season and given that style is really popular right now. This is another piece that I'm fairly certain is vintage. Where's the front? Let's see. Yeah, so this is Liz Claiborne, and you can see just looking at the tag, like this is a little bit older of a piece. This is Ramie and Cotton. It was made in Hong Kong. Just because something's made in Hong Kong doesn't necessarily mean that it's vintage, but the chances of it being vintage, I think, are a little bit higher. And this is what the sweater looks like. It's just a really fun Fair Isle print. Black and white, yes. It would have been nice if there was some color to it, but it's got the mock neck. A little bit of fading on the mock neck, I think, but just a fun vintage sweater. I feel like you could wear this like on a ski trip, just in the winter. It's nice and cozy. Hoping to get 25 to 30 on that. Let's keep going with these pants. And I have a few items, including some tops and some shoes that I got on other sourcing trips that I might show you as well. I remember I got this pair of COS, I don't know, pants. I saw these at the 70% off sale, and I remember telling myself then, okay, if these are still there during the 90% off sale, I'll get them, because they we're asking $14, so it's not like, paying around $4 would have been that much, but I was like, I just don't know if it's worth that much. These were in the men's section, but I'm fairly certain they're a women's size small, because I could wear them. And a women's size small is very different from a men's size small, but they're just like these, what is this called? Like railroad print, like just striped, vertical striped pants. They kind of taper at the bottom. Very lightweight, more so probably for like the spring and summer. What are you made out of? I'm wondering if there's any linen. I don't think so. And unfortunately, this tag doesn't say. It says machine wash, but oh, it's 100% cotton. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, like, it has the lightness of potentially being linen, but it doesn't really feel like linen. These are annoying because I'm going to have to steam them. They're very wrinkly. And is it worth the time that it's going to take me to steam them? I don't know, but I got them anyway. If these are what oh, okay, these are a little bit different. These are by the brand NAKD, which I think, you just say naked. It says they're size 34, but I think that they go by sizing different than what American sizing is, because I think these would be too small on me. And in fact, I think I got these to see if my daughter wanted. The inseam, I think, is way too long for her, but I think the waist would fit her. She could just cuff them on the bottom. So I'm going to see if she wants these, because they're a really cool wide leg jean. Her legs are really long, but I also did look up to see if these sell well on resale platforms, and they were not bad. Like anywhere from like $25 to $40. These were $16, so I paid $1.60 for them. I'm gonna put them in this separate compartment to show her. There's a few things in here that I sourced for her, so she'll get first dibs. And if she doesn't want them, I'll just go ahead and relist them or list them. These are a pair of Lululemon leggings, and they are interesting. So this is what they look like. They're definitely a little bit older style in that they have this like almost low rise. They are more of a cropped length, and then I think they're Soul Cycle. I mean, it just says Soul, so I'm assuming that this is like some sort of piece that you could buy at a Soul Cycle gym or something like that. Oh, lovely. There's a piece of like red hair. And then it does have a zipper on the back with their little hair tie thing. And if I look inside, I can see that they are a size 4. Again, I did not look up comps. I'm sure these don't sell for that much. And to be honest, right now, I feel like I have a hard time moving athletic leggings. People just seem over them, But they wanted $22 for these, so I paid $2.20. And although maybe leggings are not selling quite as much as they used to, there's still definitely a market, but I don't know. It just kind of feels like people who like leggings, they have enough leggings for what they need. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I thought I would try them out. It is hard to pass up on Lululemon when it's priced that reasonably, so we'll see how they do. And if you want to see the fate of these pieces, definitely make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And I'll throw a playlist down in the description of this video. I'll throw two links down there. One will be for a playlist of more thrift hauls if you enjoy just seeing like the kinds of things that I've picked up in the past. But even more importantly, I think, are what sold videos. It's kind of cool to see what people pick up, but even more important to see what actually sells and how much those items sell for. So I'll put a link to a playlist of what sold videos that I've made in the past too, so that you can learn a little bit more about what kinds of things sell well for people. This is something that I got for my daughter. They wanted $10 for this, so I got it for $1. It's just a pair of Aerie leggings. They're in a size extra small short. I did not see the short piece of things, so now that I think about it, that might be a problem. But I think she's okay with black leggings being a little short, like kind of capri length. Especially if you just wear them with like boots or something. Or, you know how right now, like the cool thing with the kids is they do those Nike socks and they're like at, almost like mid-calf, if you will. So I think she'll be fine with those if she wears those socks. This is a Madewell piece. I think I was going to maybe try it on, but I don't mind selling it either. It was $14, so I had $1.40 into this. It is a size 2XS. So extra, extra small, and it's new with tags, which is probably reason enough for me to just go ahead and list it. It's super thin, and probably like the best thing about selling Madewell is that if you look at the little tag underneath the care tag, they have the style number on there, and Madewell is really good about giving you a ton of information about their pieces. If you use the style name, you can get if you use the style number, you can get the style name, you can get stock photos if you're into that, you can get a description of the item. So I do enjoy picking up Madewell and J. Crew and those kinds of brands for that reason. And then this is another piece that I don't know if it's vintage, but I feel like it might not be. But this tag was just so interesting to me. This is American Eagle. I'd never seen that tag before, but also this like stripe through it, that permanent marker stripe. I feel like that's something that brands will do sometimes when they're going to send items to like a TJ Maxx or something like that. And yes, TJ Maxx has been around for a while, but I don't know that they've been doing the strike through on brands for that long. So I don't know if this is vintage or not. It's a size medium. I just thought it was a fun piece. It's like this great flannel button up, and I can't tell if, I think it's for men. I think it's a men's medium. It's a little worn. There's like a little bit of pilling, but I think it just adds to the appeal, and I just think it's great for fall and winter, this type of piece. It's not super heavy, but it's got a little bit of weight to it. I would love to sell this for like $25. It's very festive. I feel like you could wear this for the holidays. Oh, I thought that was some new with tags tags, and I was like, how is this new with tags? This is new with tags. I've never heard of this brand. The brand is Ice Glad, and it says fashion meets comfortable. And to be honest with you, it doesn't look like, this doesn't look that nice, and the tag doesn't look that nice. This looks like an Amazon brand or something. But what intrigued me was that I think you're supposed to be able to wear this when it's really cold. I don't know. It says the maximum temp is 30 degrees, but maximum is spelled wrong. You guys, I probably shouldn't have picked this up. Like, do you see that? Maximum. Made in China. You know, being Korean, Koreans, and I think Chinese people and Japanese people, they're really into like cutesy things like kawaii and that sort of thing. And there's just like a running joke that I have with some of my friends about Korean made stuff, especially Korean like stationery and little pencil pouches and things like that. Koreans love to come up with a phrase that they think is cute and motivational and inspirational, and they'll throw these random phrases on all of their stuff on top of stationery. They'll put it in planners, they'll put it on pencil pouches, and they'll put it in English, and it'll be just like the most random string of words put together. So it'll be like, rainy day is not big bear sleep time in cloud. Smile for flower friend. Or you know what I mean? Like, they'll just put words together and you're reading this going, what does this mean? Like, I don't understand. And I don't know how I got there from maximum being spelled wrong, but just saying that, like, sometimes when my people try to work with the English language, it's hard. English is hard. But yeah, the fact that maximum is spelled incorrectly, I think that means this isn't really worth that much. But you know what? It was a new with tags, long sleeve polo shirt, and it feels pretty nice. I feel like it's supposed to be good in the winter time. It's sorry. Okay, actually, maybe it's okay. Sorry. It's made out of polyester and spandex, and I'm just getting distracted because here it said the maximum, MAXIMUN temp 30 degrees. I'll show you that again. But then they spelled maximum wrong another time, but like a different misspelling of it. So here it says they got, I don't know. No, they didn't get closer. Can you see that? It says the max rum. The max rum. They were so close. That R just needed to be an M. But it says the max rum temp 30 degrees. And there's no space between temp and 30. I don't know. I have a thing for like grammar and spelling, and this just puts off a lot of red flags. But you know what? I got it. I spent $1 on it, and I should be able to make, I don't know, maybe like $20 on that. I'll probably have to sit on it for a while, but you know what? You live and you learn. This is a Chico's piece. Chico's is a brand that I know and trust when it comes to resale, unlike that Ice Glad. And like, why is this at a Plato's Closet? You know, no wonder this ended up in their 90% off clearance sale. There is not a high school or college student alive who's like, ooh, give me that Chico's houndstooth piece. Like, that's just, it's not a thing. So it's got this like mock neck. It's almost this like terry cloth. The fabric is super interesting. Kind of login look, like it just kind of late, you know, it's a little oversized, a little baggy, if you will. They were asking $10 because it's Chico's. It shouldn't have even been there in the first place. So I got it for $1, and that I think will sell for like $25 to $35. This I thought was a cool piece. I might see if my husband wants it. It's not his size at all. This is an extra large tall. It's Nike, and the Nike swoosh is embroidered, as you can see. And it's got a hood, and it's Nike dry fit. Yeah, I just thought it was a cool piece. It's got like very subtle stripes on the fabric, if you can see that. I like the kind of maroony color. Great piece. So yeah, this one hoping to sell for $25 to $35. This piece is basically the same color. Again, what is Eileen Fisher doing at Plato's Closet? And because it was there, they were asking $14 for this. I paid $1.40 This is in a size extra large, which is why I got it, even though it's a pretty simple piece. It's just like a long sleeve tee, you know. There are, I think, a couple, maybe like some tiny grease spots. I don't know if you can see those, but this is made out of viscose and spandex. I mean, this won't be a huge seller, maybe $20 to $25, but I have so little into it. I've been having a lot of luck with Eileen Fisher lately with all the items from my estate sale that I've been selling, so I thought I'd try that out. I don't think I've ever picked up this brand. We Wore What. It is a brand, I forgot her name now. Like, the person who, does she actually design for this brand, or is she the face of this brand? I forget her name. She got so much heat. I remember like a few years ago for basically stealing designs from smaller designers and passing them off as her own. But like some of her stuff can sell really well. And so, I want to say her name is Danielle or something, but I could be making that up. This is a size extra small / extra small, and it's just like a great checkered, very lightweight button-up shirt. I don't know that this is going to go for a huge amount. It retailed for $16, not retail, but was being sold at PLATO'S for $16. And I think I looked up comps for similar pieces, and they were selling for like way more than something this simple should sell for. Like they were selling for like $35, $40. So I was like, you know what? For $1.60, like I can try it. You know, it's my first time trying this brand. You guys know I'm always down to try a new brand for the first time. It's just 100% viscose. We'll see. You'll have to subscribe, like I said, and see if it shows up in an upcoming What Sold video. This was interesting because this is a set. I think these are pajamas, and it's by the brand Aerie, which I do not pick up to resell very much. Okay, see, like this kind of sounds like a little Korean phrase, although this makes sense. It says find happy everywhere. That's the kind of stuff the Koreans are putting on their stationery and stuff. But it's just like a really lightweight leopard, cheetah, I don't know what kind of print this is, pajama set. I'm pretty sure it's a pajama set. I don't know who's wearing this out, like, to the mall. Extra large. Okay, look at that. On this tag, it says, being Aerie real means caring for you. Okay. Movie marathons, period. Belly laughs, period. Naps, period. Dancing like no one's watching, period. All that good stuff, period. Like, that's what it says on the tag. Koreans must be behind this. I don't know. There's no other explanation. But this is from 2023. Oh, it's not that old. Here's the bottoms. They're like a nice wide leg. If they were my size, I would 100% be keeping them. I don't really like this print, but I just do really love a matching PJ set. And Aerie is kind of known for their comfort pieces, you know, so I can totally get the fact that there were PJs being sold there. How much did I pay for you guys? Where is your tag? I've never tried selling their PJs, so I'm excited. They wanted $20 for this set, so I paid $2. You know, if I make $25, $30, I'm happy with that. And here she is. I saw this on a tall rack. It was a tall rack that they would put long dresses or like jumpsuits on because they didn't want the bottom to drag on the floor. And then there were sections of that rack that, you know, didn't have really tall pieces, and they'd put shorts on like a lower rack that was part of it. And as I was flipping through the dresses, I just saw this like lettering peeking through. And, you know, I saw all this distress detail, and I was like, there's no way. Like, it would be so great if it was Magnolia Pearl, but there's no way. Like, they would not have that here. And the first thing I did before I looked at the tag, you know, the label, I turned it around because Magnolia Pearl likes to announce that it's Magnolia Pearl. They like to tell everybody on the back, like a well-placed tattoo, you know, on your lower back. I turned it around, and sure enough, it was announced to me, Magnolia Pearl. And then I checked this guy, Magnolia Pearl. Now, this is not the most exciting Magnolia Pearl piece I found because it's literally just like a very basic, very login look, very oversized. it's a tunic. It cannot be a dress because you're showing everything on your front side with this kind of high-low action going on. It's not actually that long. I would definitely also call it a little whimsy goth. Like, it's just got kind of that vibe. I'd call it a little witchy. It's got this kind of like shark bite hem. This is 100% cotton. I haven't looked up comps for this. I mean, easily it's going to sell for over $100 and it's going to sell fast. Yeah, and I just remember like getting the email from Plato's Closet, or I saw it, I should say. I saw it in my inbox around 7:30 p.m. And I was just so tired. It was a Friday night. It had been a really long week at work. And I turned to my husband and I said, I think I should go to Plato's Closet. They're doing their 90% off sale. And he was like, really? You're just so tired. And I was like, I should just go. I'll just go really fast and I'll see what they have. And I just was expecting it to be garbage. Like, again, like I think I was expecting all of it to be like this kind of stuff. Like, why did I get this? This dumb ice glad where they can't spell. But you know what? Like, my Spidey thrifting sense was right. Like, I just felt like I should go. There's something waiting there for me. And then I have a Facebook group, in case you don't know, about like my thrifting and reselling stuff. It's just BECKYPARK. I'll link it down in the description. And someone who is a part of my Facebook community and follows my page, I had posted about finding this at Plato's. I had a reel about it. And I guess she is from around here. And she was like, oh my God, I went to that Plato's Closet earlier in the day. She was like, I did not see that. And she's like, I am screaming, like, yes, out of happiness for you, but also like, bruh, you know? So many people had passed by this at this point, and it's so unassuming. It's just this crazy black thing, but this thing's gonna make me probably at least $100 of profit. Oh man, it made everything worth it. Okay, the next thing, not so exciting, but my daughter is very into like the Peanuts and Snoopy and all that stuff. And this is an interesting collab. It's like Todd Snyder and Peanuts. I didn't know that was a thing. And I could probably sell this for decent money, but I think she will really like it. It's a size small, made in the USA. I'm going to let her wear it. And then if at some point she decides she doesn't want it anymore, it's okay. My husband can get that out. My husband's really good at getting out stains. When she doesn't want it anymore, when she doesn't wear it, I can resell it. They were asking $12, so I have $1.20 into that, and that's gonna go up here with those black pants. Ooh, and I gotta put those airy leggings up here too. These are all for her. And I forgot to tell you, best of all, how much they wanted for this Magnolia Pearl piece. Oh wait, no, this is the other piece. I was like, what? They called it something else. They wanted $25 for this. So maybe they did a little bit of research. I don't know, because most of their just like tees, they are not pricing at $25. But I got it for $2.50. That's crazy sauce. $2.50 on that. And they don't have like a separate thing in their system for Magnolia Pearl, because for brands that they sell a lot of, I'll show you on this next piece. So like here, it says Free People right there, and they kind of have an idea when they are pricing their items. They have like a little software that they use, and certain brands they're going to sell for more, but Magnolia Pearl, I bet they just kind of looked it up online and probably were shocked by what they saw, but also understood we can't price that thing for $100 at our store. No one's going to buy it. And even at $25, no one wanted it, so I got it for $2.50. I'm so excited. But I didn't see that during the 70% off sale, so I'm glad I went back. This is a We the Free piece. This is in a size, I don't know. It doesn't have the size on it, but it's got like a little bit higher of a neck, which I always love. They're saying it's a size small, and they have some cuff detail, which this is a thing that some people do really like about Free People, are these intricate cuffs along the sleeve hem, and this one is no exception to that. It's very pretty. It has it here too. There's some beading in there as well, if you can see that. I don't know how much I can price this for. I think it's probably a little bit older of a piece. There's also a keyhole in the back. Probably like $25, if that. This is a brand that I have not picked up in a while. I don't think it's worth a super amount. This is not something that I'm super well versed in either. I'm not, one, I'm not a fan of Western wear. It's just not my personal aesthetic. And then I don't have a lot of experience with it because this is not a very popular style where I live. I think you see a lot more of that style in places like Texas and just like in the Southwest. But this is a shirt by the brand Roper, and it does have pearl snap buttons. It's got some metallic threading, as you can see. And on the back, it's got this pretty intense embroidery along the top, and this is all very classic Roper, very classic Western style pieces, your embroidery, your pearl snap, all that kind of stuff. This is in a size large, and I don't know if it's a men's or a women's. I would assume it's a woman's, and probably I can sell it for 25 to 35, I would hope. I don't know what this was made out of. I think it's just cotton. But let's see. Nope, 44, yeah, okay, it's cotton and polyester. That sounds about right. So there's that. We'll see how that does. We only have a couple more pieces left. And then, like I said, I'll show you a few pieces. It's like 3 or 4 because I think I actually photographed the other pieces. I'll show you a few things that I got at a local thrift store like a week or 2 ago. But this is another new with tags piece. Otherwise, I don't know that I would have picked it up. Is it BB? Is it Bebe? I don't know. This is the front. This feels very Y2K because, like Magnolia Pearl, this brand wants you to know it is this brand. They are not trying to be demure and like blend into the crowd. Like, they want to scream at you, hey, this girl shops at BB. So there's just all this like rhinestoney detail on the front. Look at that. Look at that. This is in a size medium. They were asking $16 for this, so I got it for $1.60. And I don't know what it's made out of. It feels very stretchy. Yeah, this was so popular in the 90s. This is not from the 90s, this particular piece. I just thought I'd try it. It was at a great price point, so why not? And then last but not least, I have one more Madewell piece. It's just a pretty basic faux wrap dress. It's in a size 4. They were asking $14, so I got it for $1.40. I'd be shocked if this sold for more than $20, $25, but it's just a very sweet dress. I don't have very much money into it. It'll be super easy to list because of the fact that the style name is going to be right there underneath the care tag for me to look it up. So, for me, it's a no-brainer. So let me show you just a couple things I got from my local thrift store. They were doing this crazy sale where it was like, I think was it yellow tag? Yellow tag was 25% off. This is yellow tag. But on top of that, if you spent $50 on thrifted items, they gave you an additional 25% off. So everything came out to like $1 something when all was said and done. This is just a Woolrich piece. This is in a size large, 100% cotton, made in India. I kind of think it might be vintage, if you can see that tag. But I just thought it was a nice piece. Yeah, I feel like you could even wear it, honestly, as like a shacket. It's not quite as thick as like a flannel, but it's thicker than a typical button-up shirt. Oh, this tag is so interesting. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that does. It needs a good steam. It's very wrinkly. I also got this piece. I wasn't super excited about it, but it was so cheap. They were asking $1.99 for it. It's Tommy Bahama in a size small, which Tommy Bahama typically for me does better if it's in bigger sizes. It's got like a little tie here. Very coastal, very like nautical, very not the season right now. But this is 100% silk. And then, I got like 25% off of that. So it was just so cheap. And I was like, okay, sure. Like, even if it only sells for like $25, it weighs nothing. It's just going to be super easy to list. Like, yes, why not? I do have to steam this one as well, but that's fine. And then I got other things, but a lot of them are already listed. So I'll just show you one more that I got from this particular thrift store. This is a Ralph Lauren piece. This is the Blair button-up. 100% cotton, size large. Again, yellow tag, $4.99. So I think it was 25% off of that plus an additional 25% off because I was able to spend more than $50. I actually had to go back and like hit the thrift store again because when I checked out, I only had like $41 as my total. And I had to find like 5 more items to get up to the $50 because of how cheap everything kept, coming out to be. I just really like the colorway on this. Like, look at that. And I can't tell if it's actually vintage or not. It's definitely a little bit older of a style. It's not like a current Ralph Lauren piece. It's super lightweight, not really the season, but the colors are kind of fall-ish. They also work in the spring and summer. And I just thought it was a fun piece. So I got to get this steamed up as well, and then I can list it. But that's everything that I got. I mean, even if everything else sells for like a couple bucks, this right here, this really made it for me. Like, I couldn't believe that this was at Plato's Closet for $2.50. But if you got this far, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you're just in the mood to watch more thrift haul videos of mine, I will have a playlist here for you as well as down in the description below if you want to check it out. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you are sourcing some really amazing things. I hope you're running into some really amazing surprises like that Magnolia Pearl piece, things that are just like delighting you and bringing you joy. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!